and ESEA.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Optic Scumpy here, and I'm joined by Chatty B and Yankee P.
Optic Scumpy.
That's what they say about calling me that.
Oh yeah, we don't do Yankee.
Don't make me say it twice.
Oh.
Do you know, we were talking about Simon Says game before. You actually have a Simon in your ear.
I do. So Simon Says camera 2.
Hey!
Anyway, we're going to be jumping into a game of Counter-Strike that we're not particularly excited for, and I'm not going to be
Counter-Strike.
I'm not going to be beating around the bush here, and it's not because of the teams. Now, of course, normally this would be interesting. I mean, we get to see Space Soldiers back in action. I personally really like their evolution. I think actually a very interesting tweet and discussion to be had was Peta, who said that they kind of remind him of of course from HLTV. They remind him of a Keed Stars now SK kind of story, and it's just time for them, and it does feel like that way. They've been around for a while.
They've been grinding, they have the right attitude, and the trajectory that they're on in recent times is a very positive one. So all those signs there, I think the biggest caveat he has that they don't have a cold zero.
Yes.
Which is a problem.
They have Xantares, what do you want?
Xantares is nearly a cold zero.
He's pretty good.
He's on
People didn't know about Cold Zero until he showed up in SK, so maybe there is a Cold Zero out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there is, the likes of Paz as well. They've got some hard hitters. They've got it all. They do have, the recipe for a successful team. And on the other side of things is AGO. Now, the reason that we are as dejected as we may come across here is because they have decided to, instead of forfeiting the game due to them being on a different time zone / place in the world, continent, yeah, that works. They're actually in China for a tournament and are deciding to still adhere to the Pro League schedule and turn up here about 3 AM to play this game.
Is this too harsh? I don't think you could find 3 people in the world right now who are this upset at a team for making this decision. They're going to play Counter-Strike on 400-ish ping at 4 AM.
Do you get
at 4 AM in the morning against a team who was going to beat them anyway.
Yeah.
I'm really upset.
I don't know, this reminds me of like when you have gym class, right? Like PE, and like everyone's looking forward to playing like some games. It's not really a class; it doesn't really count. You play some basketball. There's like, 6 of you like who all usually play, and there's that 7th kid. There's that little, fat kid just lying around. He wants to get involved. He's sitting on the bench, and like, you kind of feel bad about it. You're like, just let us play, so man. You're gonna ruin it for everyone. He's so keen. He wants to like jump in and just ruins the game for everyone. And then you finish the PE class and you're like, well, now I have to go in history, and it's going to be an even worse time than I just had.
I see what you've done there. I've also done something very smart. I've just done a ping. So this is a fantastic website I've just found where you can ping various servers. So for if they were playing from the US,
yes,
that I wouldn't be upset. If they wanted to do that, that's still 120 ping.
That's pretty good. You can do that.
Like Space Soldiers are in Turkey. They're not having fantastic pings. They do okay.
Adren from Gambit plays on that ping.
Right, here we go. So anywhere else, like even Asia Pacific, so like Mumbai, 150 ping. They could be playing on that.
Sure.
However, when I go down to Beijing, this is it from the only China server I can ping, 427 ms. That's 427 milliseconds before you can react.
I would say.
Even worse. Like they were there for WSG. They stayed extra there doing that Star Ladder Invitational tournament. So you're in the time zone. You're waking up at 4 AM to do this.
You're ruining your sleeping pattern.
You're ruining your sleeping pattern before the tournament starts. That you're actually going to play their LAN tournament to play 2 Pro League maps against Space Soldiers with 400 ping.
Which, mind you,
what are you doing in your life? There's no. So maybe you're sitting home and thinking, yeah, but maybe they get fined like 10K for not showing up for a match, for no show. No, there's no downsides to forfeiting this game.
There's a certain amount. Yeah,
you have 3 forfeits in the league. This is the one where you can't play. Obviously, they're going to play all the other games when they're back in Europe. They're not going to forfeit anything. This is the only thing they're playing, really, that's tier 1. So.
They play today in the tournament.
Today?
What?
Yeah, here, Thursday, March 22nd, which for them would be today.
Yeah.
At 9 AM.
So they're playing at 3 AM.
This is 9 AM.
That's local, because I'm not logged in.
No, why are they playing it? Why would this team start at 6 AM, though?
Oh, you have a good point. I messed that up, everybody. I'm not great with time.
Never mind,
even if
it's plus 7 hours from 9, it's 4 PM. That's still like, you're still ruining. What, you're going to stay up from 4 AM to 4 PM and play your game?
Well,
it's ridiculous. What's it going to be? What are the casters going to do? What are we casting this game with 450 ping? It's like,
let us explain.
Great kill, but
he tried.
450 pings.
There are a lot of viewers at home who know Counter-Strike. There are also some viewers who don't know Counter-Strike. Now, The reason we play regional-based Counter-Strike is because we have a thing called the internet, Alex, and it works over distance. And if you're too far away, the ping is way too high. Now, if the ping is too high, over a threshold of, I would probably say 200, at that point, you start being significantly laggy in the server. You can warp around, and it becomes very difficult for everybody.
The best way to describe it is, you are sending your coordinates and actions in a little packet. It's going over, it's going and bouncing, and it's sending itself all the way to the person that's playing as well. And you're all connected to that.
Try playing basketball with your legs tied to each other.
Yeah,
You
okay,
know,
well,
that's like
that's a
probably
nice one.
You know, the best way to describe it, just yours cannot play. It's like it cannot be done. You cannot play properly. And it's also, to be honest, unfair to Space Soldiers because it's very frustrating playing against someone with high ping.
Yes.
As Chad pointed out, they're warping around. You know, it's like it's just annoying. It's not Counter-Strike. It's literally not Counter-Strike.
It's a mess.
So
it will be. And before we continue,
why is there not a rule that has, like, if it's over 150 ping, you have to forfeit the game? What's the point of playing this game for anyone? Who's going to sit there and watch this game?
Yeah,
if you're watching this game, you're wasting your time. Do something else with your life.
I don't know what he's talking about because I want to talk about AGO. Now, let's not forget, this Polish roster...
I don't want to talk about them. I want to pretend they don't exist.
They're not normally actually playing from China. Normally, they're playing from home. And indeed, they have managed to find great success recently in Counter-Strike. The fact that they're in the Pro League, bearing in mind these guys were actually from the MDL, that's the Mountain Dew League. A quick reminder, you can find all the information you need at esea.net/MDL. But we are going to be taking a quick look at not necessarily their Pro League performance, but also how they got here and how we find ourselves talking about them here in the Pro League. Let's take a closer look at AGO.
The two new contenders in this season's European Pro League division, AGO Esports and Space Soldiers, are set to face off tonight to once again prove who deserved their promotion the most. AGO Esports is a rather young Polish organization who have always been fighting in the shadows of what used to be the pride of Polish CS, Virtus Pro.
What is your profession?
However, since the fall of Virtus Pro over the past few months, AGO Esports have fought their way to becoming a serious contender for being the best team in Poland. This was perfectly showcased back in November when AGO defeated their fellow brethren of Virtus Pro in the semifinals of the ESEA Mountain Dew League Season 26.
AGO have done it.
This propelled them towards the Premier Finals against Ecstatis, which they also won, and AGO Esports were hereby promoted to the Pro League.
Gets the final kill, and it's going to be AGO that take control of the second map and this set, with 16-11 being the final score here and 2-0 being the set score. And with that victory, they will move up. They will qualify for the next season of the ESL Pro League.
An impressive feat for the Poles, who recently won the Polish Super Cup in Katowice against Kingwin, and are now breathing straight down Virtus Pro's neck as the best Polish team. Their opponent for tonight are the Turkish Space Soldiers. They too have had an impressive run lately, winning 6 out of 10 games in the Pro League, beating the likes of Na'Vi and G2. This will be their first official game since they managed to secure a second-place finish at the World Electronic Sports Games in China, winning $300,000 just a few days ago. Space Soldiers have had the better start during this new season of the Pro League and are also ranked higher than AGO Esports, but nothing is certain when these teams meet. They have a long history of matches against each other, with AGO Esports coming out on top, having won 8 games and only lost 4 to the Turks. A dominant win rate in favor of the Poles, but Space Soldiers are certainly not ones to rule out in tonight's battle.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, that is AGO, and they continue to battle forward. Currently ranked nearly the bottom of the Pro League. Only thing stopping them from being there is the fact that we have a team like Envy, who've only played 3 games of Counter-Strike in the Pro League.
I think that was a really good piece, actually. Very informative, giving everyone a view of these new teams who have both come into the Pro League from the Mountain Dew League. One interesting point there was the fact that AGO beat Space Soldiers. They actually play a lot because they were playing in like the Tier 2, Tier 3 kind of divisions for some time, and AGO actually have the upper hand. That's going to completely get flipped on its head here tonight, Alex. And I think this is more like a. I'm going to give a bit of a different view than Yanko's. This is going to be like a car crash. You're not going to be able to look away because hopefully Space Soldier is just going to spank them and show that this is not what you should be doing. Just forfeit the matches.
Essentially, this is their match record. You can see how they've done 2-8. It's not gone well, and that's with ping. 16, 10. I mean, they're getting double digits.
Can we just please get an explanation from someone why are they playing?
So wait, just to
Can
clarify,
someone from the team? Can someone from the team just say we're playing because of
maybe they're
X?
good. Maybe they're really good on 250 ping.
But let's
Apparently,
just take note of what we're looking here. Look at this from, so in contrast, AGO, the only team they've beaten are the other team that qualified from the MDL, that's LDLC. Every other opposition they have lost to, that's 8 losses to their name. Space Soldiers, on the contrary, 7-3, their victories against Titans of Counter-Strike. For example, G2 Esports, you have the likes of Na'Vi as well, they managed to split the series there. Nearly, very close by just a Nats wing, couldn't beat NIP across 2, but did take the 1. And a Heroic, a 16-1 victory versus Heroic of all things.
yeah, Space Soldiers have looked impressive, right? And we even saw that at the Major, they're looking quite nice. Second place WSG, just like I mentioned in the video, when they played Fnatic, they probably should have won that final, considering how commanding of a lead they were in. 14-7 on the third map. There was Mirage, I believe, if my memory serves me rightly. So Space Soldiers are looking like a much hotter prospect than that of AGO.
No, I think I got it. I think AGO, you know, they saw Space Soldiers in WSG and they thought, yeah, they're probably just gonna stay in China for some leisure as well. So, you know, they could play on a Chinese server.
Ah, potentially.
Maybe?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I like that. You cracked the code there.
They're gonna play the card of, you know, how before you had those things like one team would like to play on a German server, the other one would want to play on a French server because of pings, at least in 1.6, and maybe that's the card that AGO is going to pull off. You know, yes, we play the first map on your server that you pick, and then the second one we play on our server.
We've missed a detail here.
Drop it.
The first map is Mirage.
What?
The second map, and this is the cherry on top of a beautiful cake of Counter-Strike that has been the
You say
evening.
Inferno, I swear.
No.
Nuke.
What's worse than Inferno?
What's worse than Inferno? Nuke.
Yes,
It's Nuke?
it's Nuke.
You know, oh, okay.
Take a deep breath, everyone. Just really take it all in.
So we have a game that would typically be rather one-sided.
Well, it should be Space Soldiers game,
It would
yes.
be Space Soldiers, potentially like a 16-7 and an 8, you know, maybe even a 16-10 if they're putting up a good fight, which they can do. They're very capable players. However, in this scenario we're currently looking at, already a team that should be beating them is now going to be beating them with 400 ping on a map that is at its very best difficult to enjoy unless every team has a full grasp of the map.
Yes.
It's unlikely that they will have that at this point in time, and therefore it's a little bit of a car crash, and you're absolutely right. It's a good analogy. We'll stick with that one. I don't have a time update on when this is going live, which is a bit of a shame because I have absolutely nothing more to say about this one.
It's
3
a
minutes.
car crash in a sense that, you know, when you're going on the highway and then you get sandwiched by 2 massive, those, how do you say them?
Semi-trailers?
Semi-trailers, yeah. And then there's nothing left. You can't even tell, like, the making of the car. You don't know if it was a car or a bike.
Okay, that was very graphic.
I was distracted because they keep cutting to a shot of me when I'm off camera. It's really frustrating.
No, but Alex, it's because you're the most beautiful human here that we
just
want to keep
really
you on camera as
unnecessary.
much as humanly possible. But I think
You're
if
not wearing the same clothes for 2 days.
No,
I
bless
know,
you.
but if you didn't tell anybody, here's the thing. Here's a theory that I have. I think we could all wear the same clothes every day of broadcast for the entire 26 match days of Pro League, and no one would know.
People will probably even welcome it.
Maybe.
You know, oh, yeah, that's the same guy. It's like The Simpsons, you know, they always wear the same
Yeah,
stuff.
they
I
get away
like
with that in that form of TV.
There's a couple of episodes as well where they open their wardrobe and it's just
the
like
same thing.
4 orange shirts and 3 orange shorts.
Yeah.
It's just like it's
Blue
good.
shorts.
Blue shorts. Thank you. Sorry, I was doing Bar Simpson.
Lisa has the orange dress.
She has the orange dress.
And
That's
Marge's
correct.
is green?
That's correct.
It's been a while since I
Homer
watched The
has
Simpsons.
blue trousers and a white
And a
shirt.
white shirt. What does Maggie wear? It's a blue...
It's a blue sock.
It's like... They've just found a sock and they've thrown her in the sock.
yeah, exactly.
This is not a Hessian sack.
She's been a baby for like 15
20
years
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing good.
It's crazy.
Because
I
we
don't
were
know how they
talking about
keep
getting...
coming up
Stay
with-
young.
We were talking about our wrinkles and stuff before.
Yeah.
How's she doing it? She hasn't even grown.
Maybe like she could talk to. Maybe she's been talking to Henry because he has such a good skin regime.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm.
Can we find out more about that?
Yeah. No one recommends he takes Botox. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, we did get told that, yeah. All right, well, we can pick a podcast topic. You know, we're really good at that. We're very well versed in podcasting.
I don't really want to podcast for 2 minutes. AGO
2 minutes
versus
is too
Space
quick.
Soldiers. So tell you what we'll do. We'll analyze their logos instead. So apparently
wait, hold on. I can see how many players are in the server. Uno,
they've got 2 minutes, mate. You're good. You don't need
okay.
Golden Boy moment.
Sorry.
AGO though, their logo apparently they made it themselves. The players helped make the logo. That was one of our tidbits of information.
So it's like a school project where they get some crayons out.
Tell
and
us
it has a bit of a
tell the
doodle.
story of it. What
So-
does their name even mean? What does AGO stand for?
Always...
always gone out.
Always gaming
AGO game.
outstandingly.
What does it stand for? That's a good question.
Someone tweeted us if you know. What's the hashtag? Is it ESL Pro League? Hashtag ESL Pro League?
Yeah, probably.
Yep. Okay, so on the bright side, Furlan, Snatchy, Groovy, I think that's the coach. PHR, they're all in the server. I think we're just waiting for the 5th member. I call him Toad.
He's probably he's probably paying his game time.
No,
at the LAN
he's
cafe.
he's washing his teeth because they just.
Oh, they did just wake up apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Just
because
woke
like
up.
we mentioned,
They
it's
set alarms.
4 a.m. in the morning.
So they set alarms to wake up to play this game from China. Now that I respect. That's dedication, and that is what makes a professional gamer.
You know, it's kind of cool.
Professional gamers.
Yeah.
Okay,
See,
Chad,
yeah,
you
I
want me?
had self-reflection with Lauren the other night, and I was like, our job is so cool.
It is so cool, and AGO are so cool as well. Do you know who else is cool?
Henry G and
Henry
Pansy.
G is cool. Lauren,
I know.
like 50% of the time she's cool.
I mean, all right.
Like 55,
Sexism in
60%.
the workplace,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
Cool, yeah, love it. Discriminate
It's
me.
known for that.
That's a dank meme, isn't it?
It's a nice one. How you guys doing? You were having fun, it sounded like.
So I'm usually very invested
Like,
in
I didn't know you guys
Counter-Strike.
did a Simpsons podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the audience like for that?
What does Grandpa wear in The Simpsons? What
He
colour-
wears
what colour's
slacks
his outfit?
and like a kind of beige top.
It's like a jumper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A pullover. Yeah.
Is there a difference between a pullover and a jumper?
Well, yes.
I mean, it's a question, Alex. I don't need the tone. Do I need the tone?
So if a jumper
He
is
just assumes you don't know the answer, I think, because you're
does a jumper
female,
do-
and that's a
you're
problem.
right again. You're right.
does a jumper have buttons, or is a jumper
No.
exclusively?
That's a cardigan you're thinking of.
Yeah, so cardigans and jumpers are different. You couldn't say, "How pass me my jumper," and you'd stop and go, "Sorry, that's a cardigan."
Sure.
Sorry, no.
In terms of the game coming up,
Yeah.
where did you guys get? Like, who's coming on top? Like, where do you guys to
so
get to?
Oh,
basically,
they didn't get to that yet.
long story short, Space Soldiers should win this.
Should.
The only thing that's going to stop them is that they'll be so frustrated about the warping 400
Maybe
ping
Chad has
players.
some experience of this coming from a remote region. Did you kind of experience
that's
any
a very
high ping
good,
affairs ever?
No.
Okay, well, there we go.
Oh, that's a good topic.
Good insight.
Okay, well, guys, we've got Nuke next after
Oh,
this
that's
one,
gonna
so
be fantastic.
enjoy. First, Mirage. Let's jump in. I cannot wait to see how this one goes down, ladies and gentlemen. Take it away.
Can we Observer, can you do me a favor? Can we hit tab and let's check out those pings? We
Ouch.
do indeed have the 300. Can we watch it from their
Bloody hell.
perspective? Because I'd like to see how horrific this actually
They're getting
looks.
kills, don't worry about it. Well, I told you. I told you they're going to win. The ping's not going to be a problem. So, if anyone is not aware, if you're just joining us, they are playing with 300 ping. If you've played with 80 ping, you probably realise that it's difficult. Even 100 ping feels laggy. They're playing a 300, it's just on the pistol, as I predicted. And off we go, we're off to the races. Yeah, and Kerry's very excited.
It's his excited noise. If Chad takes a drink, maybe, or something similar, it happens. Henry, I don't know what to say about this game. I don't think you do either. I think
What's the problem? It's difficult for me to really say what's going to happen, because I have no idea. They just want a pistol, so presumably they can still shoot, it seems. I assume they can. Like, I've only played on, like, I think most, like, maybe 150 we're playing to America.
I've done the North America, like, East Coast as well.
When you AWP, like, you can feel, like, when you press a scope, it's laggy.
It's just like that second between, let alone 300.
Yeah.
Now, as said, if you ever play like North American servers, which occasionally you do because you're up at 5 in the morning, SMGs actually work okay, just because you have so many bullets and you can run with it, which makes it actually really hard to hit you. But I you know what I mean, like 300 pings, a whole different ballgame. And you got to feel for Space Soldiers too, because they're pretty jet lagged as well, I can imagine.
This come from China.
Exactly, they made it back. AGO just loved it out there. They didn't want to leave.
I believe there's some other tournament going on this week, so they didn't want to. Yeah, there was something else. I saw someone else tweeting about it. So I assume they just couldn't be bothered to come back and go again. So it makes sense they're going to stay out there. Why you'd bother waking up at 4 in the morning for this? I don't know. It seems like a colossal waste of time for everyone. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, and they can actually maybe win this.
Maybe. You know what? The smokes towards A are being lined up. They're one thing that shouldn't mess up with this ping. Is at least throwing smokes. Unless it's maybe a jump smoke or something like that, then maybe there could be issues there. But for now, the smokes are just dandy. Eagles are working. Calix there to find Groovy. And Furlan together. So far, so good. Actually, a bit of a nice turnaround. This is where you're going to see that ping kicking in, it seems. So there we go. This should be the case. In the nicest way, I think there's no point lying to the viewer by getting anywhere near excited about this, if I'm completely honest, in the fact that they have 300 ping and Space Soldiers have arms. So they're going to be able to probably kill them with not 300
You'd
ping.
imagine so. Like, I think you'll see a lot of set pieces like that. Try and use the tactics to get yourself in positions where you can maybe find some kills.
Now, I know you love the CZ anyway, but now you add in ping and
we
movement.
can't hit him.
I think this could be a fun one.
Let's
this
find
could be a
out.
fun
We're
one.
about to see.
Oh, Henry, I'll let you take the play-by-play. I know the play-by-play is ready.
It's going to be a very fast approach towards the A-bomb site here. The CZ's gunning down Calyx as he tries desperately to hold on to the A-bomb site. It's not going to happen, and the plant will come through. A little bit late there on the incendiary, but it looks like the round should still go in favor of Space Soldiers. Say that with bated breath. There are a few kills coming in for AGO. Fur and Furlan to try and hold this one off. They'll do what they can. You feel like they're not going to hit any crazy 1Ds at this point. There's the penultimate kill, and there we go. DHL will go down as well.
I still love that delay where it looks like they're just kind of like switch off their brain for a second. They stare at the other player, but they simply haven't seen him yet. Yeah,
so the top of the board is 293 in terms of the ping. I thought it'd be 500. So
I don't know if it's.
Let's explain what ping is. So the
Actually,
number
that's
there.
a good point.
Each number in that number, so 293, means they're 293 milliseconds behind the action, and what the server's registering and sending back to them. So ultimately, when they hit a shot, it's going to be 0.3 seconds before it actually registers in the top right of the screen before they realize they've got that kill. As you can imagine, in a fast-paced FPS shooter, that is not ideal. Like anything above 60 is considered like, okay, that's not really playable. We wouldn't actually play on this server. But those shots seem to be happening. So the problem we have here is because he can face an angle and shoot, and it's not going to register on the player defending. He's holding an angle. He won't see him before that ball's fired. He'll actually have the advantage because he'll peek out, fire a bullet, and not be seen. So that is a bit of an issue. But maybe that's kind of covered everything, and maybe you understand now as to why this game doesn't really make sense in terms of getting hyped up about it. This was not a force buy. It was just Deagles. They get one kill, quite a nice shot, but let's see if PHR can get anything else out of this one. Doesn't look like the Calyx will just take him down. I expect a 16-1 at this point. They got the pistol short, but I don't really see them getting much else. They'll have money. If I'm them, I know I'm not going to win this game. You don't want to take the forfeit. That's obvious why they're playing, right? Let's just rush, get it over with. It doesn't matter if you get 16-0'd. Because there's no points in that regard. You're just looking for, okay, we didn't get the fine, we didn't get a black mark against our name, we're cool. You don't need to take this super seriously. You're not going to win this match. So that's why I was like, sure, we can make it happen if they really want to avoid the forfeit, but let's be sensible.
I think that's the matter here, and simple as it is. So for now, he finds Calyx. We say all this, and I have a horrible feeling it could just still spiral terribly out of control. Engine shouldn't let this go too far. Again, if you're jiggle peeking angles, you're going to be in a huge advantage, but PHR can run and gun apparently. So, I mean, this is what I mean. Engine's playing it right for a bit against high ping, because you can just play the corners and they simply won't see you in the time you go back and forth. So that's not a bad shout about it, but your generic holding angles is still tough. Grubby finds Engine. So now it's a 3v2. Major and Paz are kind of a little bit baffled here as to what's going on. Good shot from Paz, though, finds one. The bomb's still in middle, so you have to really decide where it's going. But with PHR's position, that could lend either way, actually. He can just turn around and have a little look towards B. Bomb's going to go up. Let's see if Major hits the shot on the cross. He does. Good work from him. Readjusts accordingly. PHR has gone closer in the meantime, but it is a 1v2. Molotovs are still present. That should be put down. Puts PHR very low. He actually finds the kill towards Major. This gets worrying. Henry, we're in a 1v1 situation. Paz just jumping towards the site. Finds a job, but still, one player alive and bomb planted.
Competitive round, at least. It does come down to 1v1. You can see how slow the reaction is when Paz comes down the corner. It's not like there's going to be a snapshot towards him. It's like, oh, he's there. I'm dead. So they are trying. You can see they are running default strategies. They're doing everything they can to win rounds here. But at this point, when you're 4-1 down, I feel like, right, that's it, pack it up. It's not happening, boys.
So, what was the worst environment you ever played a game in?
I was thinking that before I came into this one. When did I ever have to do anything like this?
Like a horrible epic LAN or something?
It would have been some sort of like source thing where we had to like qualify somewhere. I can't think of anything like this. I can't think of ever accepted a game on 300 ping. I think I maybe like back in the source days I used to play like against the Americans. They were so much further ahead in terms of strategies than us. I'd finish my clan practice at like 10 PM and then I'd go play pugs with the American guys just so I could learn their strats and how they play the game. that's bad as it got. For me, that was unplayable. I was only doing it to learn from them, and it was like 150 ping.
Rough, yeah.
And the thing is, like, games do develop, and like the netcode gets better. It can handle higher ping.
It is better these days.
Remote regions.
Yeah.
But like 1.6, this wouldn't be possible. You just wouldn't be able to play the game.
But I remember being so confused by just CS:GO, or even Source players, especially like when you're looking for mixes. If you had like a 10 ping difference, you're like, no, I'm not playing your server.
Yeah.
People are
it was
pretty
a big
mad.
thing. Like,
I refused to play against Swedes at the end of it because their pings were just ridiculous.
In my days of ESL, like, you'd have to like sometimes play one half on one server, one half on the other, because the pings just were even 20 difference, and no one could agree on it. So, well, you do half here and half on the other side. So it goes to show we are talking over the action. I do apologize for shooting in. Just to reiterate.
If anyone's that upset,
sure,
go away. You know,
or just stay quiet and I'll explain the situation. I can do that as well.
No,
they are very high ping. We can bring the score up maybe every few rounds, just so we can kind of, anyone who's not listening to us, got it on in the background for something like that. This is AGO playing out of necessity. They're in a remote region. They're playing from China, from the WESG tournament. So they wanted to play. If they take a forfeit, it does mean they get fined. I think it's around like 2,000 euros, something like that. For a small org like them, it's probably not advised to be throwing money away. So they'd rather play it, just going to avoid the black mark next to the name. I don't think you'll see much more than a 16-1 at this point, but we'll find out.
Is there any podcasts you want to start up now? We already had the Simpsons one.
I really enjoyed that. I think that kind of fulfilled everyone's podcast requirements. Like, I usually listen to podcasts every single day.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, every night.
I really don't. Like, I'm not a big
I sleep to them, so I have insomnia, right? So whenever I go to bed, I put on, like, I've got like 20 I subscribe to, and then I listen to a different one every single night. After an hour of listening to it, it's about average length of an episode. I'm asleep by then.
Oh, that's
so
really
it's good, yeah. So if you're new to podcasts, Lauren, I can recommend a few for you.
No, please do. I go for audiobooks a lot of the time.
So yeah, they're cool as well.
But then I kind of get into it sometimes, and they're like, now 6 more hours, and I'm good to go.
They're usually non-fiction, but there are a few fiction ones as well. My favorite is probably Stuff You Should Know. It's every week is a different random episode. They've got a Simpsons podcast. They explain the Simpsons, the origins of it, and all the characters and stuff.
That's really cool.
They did one recently on the topic was, is vaping as bad as cigarettes? It kind of explains all the science behind vaping, all that sort of stuff. And, like, it's just like a random topic each week.
That's good, because you don't pay like mad amounts of attention, but it's still kind of good.
My favorite one this week was the history of sea monkeys. Did you ever have sea monkeys?
Oh yeah, I love those little things.
So I found out the whole.
What were they?
So they were a thing called. It's basically it's a type of shrimp, and it's a very specific type. It's been kind of made. It's going to be modified to survive a very small tank of water and be frozen kind of artificially.
Yeah, because they would you'd like activate them,
exactly,
right?
It's effectively what you would like freeze a human like if you were trying to do that. They found a way to do that with sea monkeys, like keep them alive,
like
but frozen in time, essentially. But the problem is, it was owned by a man who was secretly very right-wing, if I'm allowed to say that.
Oh no!
And he was actually giving money to white nationalists. So it turned out a bit of a dark side to sea monkeys. Unfortunately, all the money
those little things.
that was going towards them was funding
bad things.
Really horrible things. Yeah. So that was a problem. But
my childhood.
Yeah.
Do you remember those little like aliens you used to get? You'd add water and they get like really big or something.
I was always told at school they could have children.
Oh,
that was like a myth, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, if you put them like together or something, you put them in the same pod, they can have babies, and they're
like essentially it's just a bit of rubber that absorbed the liquid and got bigger, right? That's all it did.
Yeah.
But like everyone's like, yeah, the thing is,
they can actually.
I don't have it with me.
No, but my friend.
Home. Yeah, my friend in another school, like you don't know, he's the one who had a baby. It's kind of nuts.
I can't believe that rumor.
Yeah, it was actually like spread throughout most schools.
It's incredible. We are inching into a 3v2. This okay, there we go. I was like, things got a little scary. But, oh, grub.
Yeah, it's not going to work out.
Oh, the life of a sea monkey. Just
sea monkeys, for me, like I found them so fascinating. I have a really sad sea monkey story. So I had them. I was really proud of them. I really looked after them.
Did you ever get like the big guy?
Yeah,
there was always like the big sea monkey.
So,
although I did work out.
The average lifespan of them was like a month, right? And I was like 3 weeks in. Everyone was alive and was real healthy.
Time.
I was like training them, kind of like giving them things to do. And my cousin came around. He used to come around every weekend, and he thought it was like one of those things. Yeah, do you know when you turn things upside down? It's like oil inside the water and kind of like bubbles go everywhere. He thought it was one of those. No. He came along, like turned it upside down. The entire thing drops on the floor. It's gushing out everywhere. All the little sea monkeys floundering on the floor.
Oh no!
And they all died. I remember crying to her. I was like,
I've killed everything.
You basically killed my dog.
You mass murdered. There's like a genocide going on.
It was really distressing. I never bought them again. I was like, I can't go through that.
You can't live through that. You've
can't
already
replace those guys.
I do vaguely recall that they do eventually, like, they can eat each other, and that destroyed me as a child. Because there was this big one, I was like, oh, he's really cool. I realised you're just eating.
Yeah, they're bizarre.
There's a lot about them, yeah.
Well, there you
that's
go.
crazy.
So,
I want to learn that.
So yeah, go on
Wow.
Stuff You Should Know podcast. This is one of the ones I listen to.
Oh, fantastic.
And you can just get a little. You can sound really smart in certain situations. If one of the topic comes in, and I'm like a pass or something, and I thought, oh, this is a podcast. And I can sound real smart
ready.
right here.
Yep.
And I can give really tenuous facts about sea monkeys. Either way, I should be speaking more about Counter-Strike at this point. It is going to be 9-1. Like we said, this is a 300 ping affair. I expected a 16-1 a point. Apparently, AG won the pistol. That was nuts. But as you can see, the pings are there. I know we're talking over it. We probably shouldn't so much. But I'm at least trying to make this
clarifying every time.
entertaining for you, so you can hear the inner
About sea
workings
monkeys.
of my mind and sea monkeys, because honestly, no one's going to be talking about this game ever again.
I'm trying to think of the other rumors that used to happen in schools that like everyone might have heard of, because that was ridiculous. I hadn't even thought about that in like. God knows
I'll tell you
how
another
long
thing
ago.
that seems spread between every single school. You know that
yeah.
S you could draw.
Oh yeah, the
That was
3
in
lines.
Every
and then-
school kid knew that. Like,
There's no
everyone did
logo
that.
of anything, is it? Like
No,
it's just a thing.
Vice did an article on it last week. I didn't open it. It was like the Vice
Good old
article was
Vice,
called.
like, how busy are
what
they?
did that S actually mean? And here's the history of it. They did an article on it. I didn't read it, but I did.
that's
It
kinda
did catch my eye. I was like, oh, I don't care so much anymore. But if I ever want to know, I can find out. Maybe next week I can come back with that information. But yeah, school crazes were a lot of fun. You've got like the Tamagotchi phase. Like,
Big
that
fan of
that was big.
Yeah, I was never good at looking after them.
No.
And it kind of set me up. I'm probably not going to be good at looking after children.
Sure.
So you know, it's like I get bored of this thing in about a day.
And then that evolved to Digimons, which could actually fight. You could
I
put
played
them
it.
together.
Yeah, they like the little squares that locked
Yeah,
in,
exactly.
weren't they?
And then
I remember that.
I was under the illusion that like it was like a Wi-Fi link. So our thing in school was you do it and then run, like sprint, both of you in different directions, like hundreds of meters. It's like, it still works. This is so crazy. This is amazing. Like, how far can we take this? Get in the car and start it. And then we realized that maybe the game is already predetermined. We put them together. And
No.
yeah. I kind of worked it out. I realized I'd been spending months of my life running around a playground with Digimon, and I didn't actually do anything, did it? That didn't actually make sense. So yeah, Digimon. And speaking of which, there is a fight going on.
Robbie was around the corner on my
AGO,
screen.
and they will be actually picking up around here. So there's going to be a second of the half. It kind of really frustrates me that they're trying to get around. Like, I know that sounds so bad. It's like
what,
you've categorically lost this game.
Yep.
Like, let's accept it, move on, enjoy our lives. But either way, I'm going to keep going down this thread of send us in, tweet us in your favorite school crazes. I think that'll be the topic of this cast.
There's a BuzzFeed article for us. Of course there is,
Oh, okay,
and it's
you
a
keep
treat.
going.
If you put your gooey aliens back to back, they would reproduce.
Yeah,
that is
it.
there. Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
There is one. If you drank too much Sunny D, you would go orange.
I
Never
did hear
got
that as well. I heard
didn't hear
that.
that one. If
never
you spun
worried.
around in front of a mirror 6 times and said Bloody Mary would appear.
No, it didn't
Yeah.
do that.
You could teach your Furby to speak English. I do
Furbies.
vaguely recall this was a thing.
How into Furbies were you?
I wasn't, but my sister was, and I took the fur off it and I scared her.
It's a little
they're-
robot thing.
Yeah,
underneath
exactly,
there.
and they're quite freaky.
Yeah,
But,
they are.
No, I was never. I think I was a little too old, just not by a big margin,
Well,
but
I'm
just
older than
too
you,
old.
and I had like 3 of them. So
Oh, hey.
I don't know. The thing
The
is, like,
Digimon thing really
the
got
thing is,
to you,
like,
didn't
when,
it?
companies like Argos would announce 1 per customer for any something, and all of a sudden you don't even know what it is. You're like, I've got to have it, Mum. That's what I want.
Do you have an Apple phone or anything by any chance?
No, I don't, no.
I was going to
I've
say,
got a
you've
Samsung.
learned your lesson by that point.
But yeah, that was the thing. It was just that was the way there was no internet. That was just the way the hype was created.
Mum,
Your grandma would tell
get
you,
down to
Argos
it.
have said that you can't do this. You get the catalog out, the other catalog, back pages where the toys were, and kind of like get stuck in and see what you wanted. Then yo-yos were big for me.
Oh,
Just a
yo-yos were
big
huge.
yo-yo guy.
Like, I remember getting, like, the specialist yo-yos
Do you
with,
remember
like, the weights
the
in
one,
it.
that was called the X-Brain?
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
right?
How do you remember these names?
I've got weird memories of these stupid things.
I
And then
remember that.
there
I was like so proud of it
The main
too.
one was the Pro Yo 2, which was like a big thing, but it was actually the worst one. I had to be really skilled to use that one. Had a wooden axle on it. The X-Brain was a spring-based system, so that's why I could
remember
sleep
this
for a
one.
long amount
I
of time.
remember doing this too. I think I could still do that. I reckon if you do you reckon Alex was old enough to play with yo-yos?
I think it would have been just after his time. He would have been like, I'm 30 now, so he would have been like. So let's say I
Well,
was,
I'm
I was
27 and I
11,
was
he would have
part
been
of
like
that.
5 and yo-yos
Too
were
young,
in.
yeah.
So I don't think he would have been.
Do you remember the Marilyn Manson rumor?
That he removed his own
a rib
ribs. Yeah.
for a reason that
Yeah.
won't be discussed. But yep, that obviously not true.
That's so true. Why did that make it to my small school in Henry on Thames? And also
Mine
across
in
the
Northwest
entire...
London,
Yeah,
just
how was
like
that a thing?
everyone knew about it.
About that?
Missingno, do you remember that in Pokemon? That in my school there was rumored that you could like mess up your TV and stuff.
With what?
Missingno or Missing Number, the Pokemon that was like the barcode.
Right, okay.
That was like you could hack things with that. That got
No, I
spread
didn't know
around.
that one.
We have a 4v. No.
3-on-3 for now. I'll just do a round while you think of
you
the
have a
next
little
thing.
look.
It's going to be Xantara is actually a rare miss from him. The thing is, as well, we have to remember, sure, you might think it should be really easy kills. It'll be really difficult to get bullets to register on the players because they're not actually where they're visually represented on the server. So they'll be like maybe 0.3 per second behind. Have you ever seen those videos of hitboxes from like Source maybe or early CSGO? That's what it looks like. When a terrorist runs the corner, what the T here sees and what the CT sees are completely different things. So it's going to be like a hitbox issue. This is now 2-on-2, so this looks like the third round for AGO could be possible. Remember to send you the tweets with your school memories.
So what was it? At Henry G. Is it CS:GO still?
At Henry G CS:GO, that's the one.
At Henry G CS:GO and at They Call Me Pansy. Let us know what you heard. Apparently, if you cut a worm, it would turn into 2 worms. Apparently
I think it won't be 2 worms.
I remember that. Yeah.
It'll stay alive, and
but it won't become like 2
around.
sentient beings.
No.
Robbie, I don't think they've got time actually. Oh, they've got a kill engine. Oh god.
Do you see how he wasn't even aiming at?
No, he was like nowhere near.
So that's fun. But the bomb will go off and they win the round.
There you go. Not bad.
I'm trying to think what else. Do you know what a Diablo is? When you have 2 sticks and they're kind of spinning like cup inside it and you kind of go like this?
Yeah.
I was massively into that. That was like a year of my life.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, that was a big thing for us at least. That was
no,
huge.
it didn't get down to us.
That was just after yo-yos that came in. It was like replacement of the yo-yo.
Oh, wow. Yo-yos got banned for us as well because people just started like hitting each other with it.
Yeah, it could be a weaponized really, couldn't it? Like, one of those in the face. Like,
fling it around. Yeah, we had Pokemon cards taken away from us. We couldn't play with them.
Like, the thing is, you'd have thought like that would be big for me considering all those stories. But I never really got Pokemon at all. I didn't see the deal.
Wasn't your
I was
jam?
really into football stickers and stuff like that.
So
but then
never got that.
That was primary school. And then when Pokemon came out when I was in like secondary school, I was like,
you're a bit too old for it, or
like you're not even playing the game. Like it's meant to be a game,
it was
right?
a board game.
You're always spending all your money on it. And I was like, I'd rather play computer games. You know, like that actually for me it made sense. And I was like, you're all fighting over these pieces of cards. Don't mean anything to me. But yeah, computer games for me are taken over. Like secondary school, that's all I really cared about was Counter-Strike.
Okay. See, I went through school. I didn't play that many games at that point. Daddy Longlegs could kill you if they had fangs. Apparently,
that is true.
Heard that.
They have got the most toxic venom known to man.
Do
they don't have the fangs to administer it.
They're debunking this. They're saying they still can't kill you.
Yeah, no. The thing is, like, they don't have the fangs to actually get the venom out of their body. I think that's the whole thing. I mean, you can even eat them; it won't do anything. It's just like it can't be activated, but you can. It can be extracted, as far as I know. I don't know.
Maybe. If you licked a pencil, you get lead poisoning, but pencils are made of graphite, so...
Did you ever hear that story, like... I bet you have heard this one, like, when a kid in England in, like, the 70s was hating his exam so much, put 2 pencils up his nose.
That's yeah.
Why is that a thing? Like, my friend used to tell me, oh, it's my mum's best friend that actually happened to. And I was like, why does every kid in the UK know about it then, and you can't tell me his name?
Oh! Apparently, the kid from the Frosties advert shoved pencils up his nose and died.
There you go. It's on your website. There you go. Okay.
It's not real.
But why was that a thing? Why was that a story every school kid in the UK knew?
Hell. Well, we've had. I think that's the half, is it? I mean, if I'm honest, I've had a great time, Henry.
Oh, I think this is engaging content. I feel like this is like actually quite interesting. There could be a whole podcast on 90s kind of and early 2000s school crazes. I feel like that's a podcast we could do.
Oh, absolutely. We can get into it. We can get the younger and older perspectives of it too.
It was like before Fortnite and Counter-Strike and all these games.
How mad is that people now are like in a school playground just talk about like Fortnite? Oh, do you see Ninja and Drake?
And now they can play it on their phones in the playground.
Oh, that's mad.
So now at lunchtime they won't be like running around. They're playing Fortnite on the phone, sat on the floor. That's
So you were a bit of a gamer in high school then, weren't you? You'd already kind of got to that point. But what was your thing before then? You collected cards. There was a bit of that in there. Anything else going on? Any sport?
In terms of like sports and stuff, I was really into cricket when I was a kid for some reason. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I played in like a men's team when I was like 14.
Bloody hell.
And I really wasn't strong enough to pick up a men's bat. I didn't have the gear for like a child to use it. Like I really struggled. So I was really good at fielding. I was really good at catching and throwing the ball. Like I was really fast as well. But I couldn't really have the strength, the upper body strength to handle a men's bat. So I'd always just aim for one run.
Henry, I've had that issue before. Don't worry.
Yeah, right.
Men's
so
bat.
I wanted to try and like just tap it off the ball and then kind of get one run, then I'd be out because they'd bowl the ball too fast for me as well. I couldn't handle the pace, but I was really good at catching it. So that's why they kept me on the team. I always like caught 2 or 3 things. I'd always be a newspaper write-up with my name in it. But my mum's got them all on the cupboard.
Oh, that's lovely. And
obviously,
was it Hugh Grant as well?
And Hugh Grant. She has got a picture of Hugh Grant and me side by side in a downstairs bathroom.
Can you get that picture?
I probably can.
I'd really appreciate that.
She actually is in the... She is getting all 3 bathrooms. We've got 3 bathrooms.
Of course you do.
All restored right now,
all.
and they're all getting redone. She's doing them all at the same time. I'm pretty sure that'll be one of the casualties.
No, it can't be.
It might be.
Henry, can I take that?
I'll ask her. I'll text her.
If you don't mind, just pop it over. I'll put it to my nan's.
She might be able to send us a photo of it.
that'll do.
Yeah.
I mean, if I get the physical copy, I can pop it up in my nan's bathroom.
Yeah, okay.
That can be the upstairs bathroom.
It always was a bit weird going,
Everyone.
like, you had a girlfriend come around the first time, and
And
like,
they're
why? Just why has she done that? And it's like,
Hello?
she's a bit eccentric. She does weird things like that. So nothing to be alarmed about.
Just carry on. Being alarmed, Henry, is what I'm being right now. Why are we in a 4v1? I guess again it is like the pistols, the SMGs that will work kind of well in this situation. They'll come into their own, and you can move, you can shoot. And it's very hard to deal with that sort of thing. And Mage is going to do the best he can. He's only got a Galil to play with, and you can see the rest of Argo are going to be pushing up, getting a little bit aggressive, and he gets caught in the back. So recovered guns, I can imagine there'll be some with AGO, but at the moment, it's not a pretty sight overall. 13-4, they have extended what we're watching. And Henry, do we have any questions from the audience here?
I'm just having a look. We haven't got a single tweet. Jason O'Toole has tweeted us, a young man from Michigan, USA.
Right. Do you not have Bubba here?
I don't know. Maybe I've got him.
Guys, if you are watching at home,
No, what's
play
the
along.
question? I haven't got that.
Well, he just said, did you guys ever trade Pokemon cards?
I have got that one, yes, sorry.
In the school toilets because the teacher would take them. No, I wasn't that ashamed of it. We had them purely taken away from us, and I was in the younger school at that point still. So I was a bit too scared to...
I've got a good Tamagotchi story.
Yeah.
I was one of the, I've been reading about the Tamagotchi, in the newspaper for, months before its release.
How mad is it you be reading a newspaper rather than, just
do you remember,
it?
the Sunday Times used to have, this thing called the Fun Day Times, the kids pull-out version? That was my internet back in the day. That's how I got my information about the new toys and everything. I used this one article on Tamagotchi before they came out. I was obsessed with it. I used to read it every night before I went to bed, just thinking of how amazing a Tamagotchi is going to be. And then, obviously, the first spawn, I would say, the first character I had, it was beautiful. It got to it survived the maximum amount of time. It was the fully evolved Tamagotchi. I was
Daddy
I've been following all the tips online and everything from this paper, whatever. And then I got caught with it in school, and the teacher took it away from me. I was the only one who had it. All the kids were obsessive. It was very distracting. She put it inside the teacher's drawer, which everything goes in there. It's like a black hole,
it's gone.
right?
Yep.
And then it came to lunchtime, and I realised that there was no way I was going to get it back unless I really put on a good performance in terms of
because you have to feed it. You got to look
after it.
I
really show the gravity of a decision to remove that.
Right.
So I kind of went in there, kind of poked myself in the eye a bit. I walked in and was crying. I was
oh, you went for the tears.
Yeah, I was it's really important. If that Tamagotchi dies, I think I might do as well. And I was in tears.
A suicide pact.
It was I was connected with it like ET, If it was in pain, I could feel it as well. And she gave it back to me that lunchtime. It died already. It was covered in, it had poo all over the screen. It's crying, stuck in the corner. It did die, but I got it back and I started again. And I learned a lot that day about life in general, It's very precious.
God,
so don't let anyone take it away from you. Fight for your rights.
And mostly a Tamagotchi.
And it should be a Tamagotchi, yes, absolutely. So we are coming to the bookend now of Space Soldiers versus AGO. Hope you've enjoyed this edition. We'll probably bring a new subject matter for the next map.
Hey, there's a whole new map coming up later.
Exactly, so we can probably focus on something else. We've done 90 school crazes. We've got one tweet from our guys, so maybe get a few more tweets
Guys, get involved. We want to hear from you guys at home. Space Soldiers have won the first map. Unsurprising, we kind of expected this. I'm glad to see they did okay. They kind of dealt with this. AGO as well for them. Just get through the game. They know this one is not going to be their biggest chance to really springboard anywhere. That they are in China currently with 300 ping.
Yes.
So that's all you're going to get out of this one. But Henry, I think this is kind of what we expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to kind of fill the airwaves without taking the P a little bit too much here. So we are obviously talking over it, but I think it's more fun to have a discussion and let this one play out. I'll kind of talk over, I'll bring in the big highlight plays when it goes nuts. There's a big clutch, sure, and I'll talk about the game every now and then. But keep your ideas coming, and we'll be back after this break with the analyst test. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of fun with this one.
Incendiary out.